Welcome back to another video. Happy 2025, happy new year. So this video will be covering my training from the end of December to the start of January, but I won't be talking about the training much in the video because I wanted to speak about New Year's resolutions today. So before we get into the training vlog, I want to talk about how the week went. It started off pretty well. Did a hang snatch double at 120 kilos, which is up there with my best ever for a hang snatch double. Then the rest of the week was pretty bad because it was New Year's. I went to a festival on New Year's Eve and probably drank a bit too much, stayed up very late, and that had a really big impact on me. But we got to Friday and we hit a 110 snatch and a 140 clean and jerk pretty well. So it didn't end awfully. I was listening to my body and not wanting to go too heavy. The last 4 weeks have been pretty rough, pretty inconsistent with life, with December, with everything that goes on in that time. But it's the new year now. I've made some resolutions and you'll hear about them in the video. So let's get to it. Monday at World Gym, not at Milton. New place, how exciting. It's an awesome gym. I've got Arnie in the back watching over me, so hopefully I can get some of his gains. And Monday started off like it always does with some muscle snatches and overhead squats, but we are not going to be talking about that today because it's the new year. And do you know what that means? New Year's resolutions. Let's talk about it. Usually, I'm not someone that is big on the New Year's resolutions because for me, when I get the idea to want to change or want to be better in any aspect of my life, I usually try and do it as soon as possible. When I have the idea, when I have the motivation to do it, I usually just get it done. But this year is a very different time for me because I feel like I have reached my so-called peak with my current approach to training. So what is that approach? For the last 2 years, I've taken this sport quite seriously. I've spent a lot of money on a dietitian, on physio, on my coach, on things that will lead to better results on the platform. I've also made the necessary sacrifices around competition, so that includes not drinking, not going out with friends, not going to dinners, and really restricting my eating when it comes to making my weight, which was 81 kilos in the old categories. And in those 2 years of training, I managed to increase my weightlifting total from 265 kilos to now it sits at 305 kilos. So my snatch moved from 120 kilos to 135 kilos, and my clean and jerk moved from 145 kilos to 170 kilos. Now these jumps are pretty big when you look at these 2 years individually without any other context. But I've been lifting for 7 years and competing for 5 years. And there was a 42-month period where I didn't PB. But where does that leave us now? Because my goals now are much bigger than what I can currently hit. So I've been asking myself the question, how do I get there? And I've been speaking with my coach, and we have come to the realization that more work, more sacrifices, and more time, both inside and outside of the gym, will be needed to reach the goals that I have in mind. However, this doesn't just mean training more and trying to lift more weight every day and every week. It means making the right choices outside of the gym every single day to contribute positively towards my lifting. So this brings us back to our New Year's resolutions. And you might be wondering, but Rory, in those 2 years that you improved your total so much, you're already making sacrifices and you're already committing fully to weightlifting. But that just isn't true when you look past the surface. Although I made many changes that really helped my weightlifting improve, there is a load of things that I could be doing better. So this includes sleep and making sure that I get 8 hours or more every single night. This includes eating. So when I'm not in a cut phase or when I'm far away from a competition, it's still being dialed and eating the right things so that I can train and recover as well as possible. And finally, alcohol. Just like with my eating, there were times where I was far away from a competition or not in a cut phase where I would indulge just a bit too much in alcohol. And this would impact my training for days or weeks at a time. So these three things, sleeping, eating, and alcohol, is what I'm looking at when I talk about New Year's resolutions. And although at the start of the video I said I'm not usually one for New Year's resolutions, the last 4 weeks of inconsistent training has really affected me because I don't think I can hit the goals that I want if my training continues to be as inconsistent as it was in December. Now, I don't want to be too hard on myself because December is a time that people should be enjoying life. They should be spending it with their family or their friends or their loved ones and enjoying life in whatever you enjoy doing. Now, for me, what I love doing, I love hanging out with my friends, I love going to gigs, I love hanging with my family, I love eating, I really love eating, and then I also enjoy a drink. Now, unfortunately, training in weightlifting or training in any high performance sport, drinking, staying out late, eating lots of rubbish food, it doesn't really match. It doesn't really equal performance. So I let myself enjoy this time and I gave myself the marker of January 1st to lock back into training and to lock into the lifestyle that I want to be living because I want to get better at weightlifting and I want to reach the goals that I've set for myself. And having these New Year's resolutions made it really easy for me to segment my time. It's such a simple marker. It's the new year, it's January 1st. It is such an easy way to say I'm going to improve from this point in time. So that's what I've been doing. I'm recording this on the 9th of January and this year I've been feeling great. I've been sleeping better, I've been eating the right things and I haven't been drinking. And you wouldn't believe it, but my training has been feeling better every day since January 1st. Now, I know I'm not stupid and I know this upwards trajectory won't last forever, but I'm really excited to see how far I can take it and how far I can challenge myself in my commitment to the sport that I love. And what's been helping me is thinking about the CrossFitter Matt Fraser. And I've heard him on a lot of podcasts and in a lot of interviews where he's spoken about his 5 years of winning the CrossFit Games in a row. And his mindset during these 5 years was that he'd always ask himself the question before doing anything, will this help me win the CrossFit Games? And if the answer was no, he wouldn't do it. He even went as far as to not cut anything with knives because he didn't want to hurt himself. Now, I'm not going to be taking it to that extreme, but that mindset is something that will really help me because I've been asking myself that question when I want to stay up a bit later or when I want to snack a little bit more. I can always ground myself in knowing that I'm doing what I want to do because I want to be better at weightlifting. And this has got me so excited for 2025 because where my head is at now is the polar opposite to where it was at the start of last year, and I can't wait to see the results that I can achieve if I put in the work that I know I'm capable of. So these videos will be a real insight into how the rest of the year goes, because if you've watched the other videos, you'll know how tough the last 4 weeks were for me. It was my own fault though, so that is the great thing because I know how to make those changes. So yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on New Year's resolutions, and then that's how they relate to me. So this video has been me just rambling for 8 minutes, but I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you stick to your New Year's resolutions or any resolutions that you might make on any day, because I believe we're all capable of change and you don't need a new year to make it happen. But don't be hard on yourself if you did. I did it. It feels great. You can do it too. Get after it. You got this.